welcome back to Ben's Den, week 10, Saturday, the last one of the regular season, officially getting caught up. Week 10 Saturday, it's Sunday, snow day, and doing some stuff. So off we go. All right, so doo. Let's go to rudimentary notes. All right, so we had a couple of quads. Again, a lot of the teams were off this weekend. So it's light on the action, but we'll cover some things and we'll talk about the JV states. So starting, let's go to Hollis. We'll start at Hollis Brookline. They had a whole bunch of teams there for the Cavalier Classic, and they took on a whole squad. So let's see. We got Hollis Brookline. They took on Portsmouth 43-33. Yeah, 43-33. So let's look that guy up real quick. Cavalier Classic. Again, notes not as pristine as they usually are. All right, so a whole bunch of forfeits. Hollis Brookline gets a forfeit. Hollis Brookline gets a forfeit. Hollis Brookline, and one for Portsmouth. Yeah, so some heavy forfeits given up by Portsmouth. Some of the usual suspects. Vic Loam, he got a forfeit. Carter Coon out of Portsmouth at 120. Scout Cree, he gets a pin. My previous episode, I talked about that. Good to see him putting some shoulders on the mat. Hunter Knight over Logan Chase got a tech fall 18-2 at 126 pounds. AJ Craig over Will Crawford of Hollis Brookline, another tech fall 15-0. Big uptick in tech falls this year. Senior captain Caden Brousseau, 138 pounds. He got the forfeit. Freshman Stephen Whistler from Portsmouth. He pins Enzo Kolar. Mikey Shortell, Portsmouth over Jaeger Man. Major decision 11-1. Jacob Critchfield, that stud, he takes out Alex Secor with a tech fall. And then you had Burns and Velez, Martin and Jacob, respectively. They had a pin, and then Velez was a forfeit. Daniel Halas over Zach LaValle, 9-8. And so, good duel for Hollis Brookline and got a bunch of forfeits, so that doesn't hurt. And then they took on Winnisquam. So let's see how that went. So, a couple of forfeits here and there. Again, keep in mind, week 10 Saturday, some people are getting rested. Other kids that would normally fill in a varsity spot, they head off to JV State. So nothing here. Vic Loam again, second forfeit on the day. Jameson Keller, major decision 17-3 over Aiden Soufair. You had who else? Oh, look at that. The captain, Caden Bruce. So he gets a big pin over Dylan Griffin. And Daniel Frixion and Jacob Critchfield both had wins. A tech fall for Frixion, 17-2. Critchfield with some shoulders on the mat, big stick. Daniel Halas at 215 takes out Kyle Voigt. Those are your Hollis Brookline wins there. For Winnisquam, you had tough Ryan Cormier at 126 pounds, takes out Hunter Knight by a pin. You have Amon Gauthier, who had some beautiful looking hair this weekend at 132 pounds. He takes out Will Crawford via fall. James Dunn at 144 over Jaeger Man by a fall. And we got Victor Pham and David Jean both picking up pins. Weissman at 190 picked up a forfeit. And then Louis Soik, Harrison Holmes, they went at it in the heavyweight division with Soik coming away with a pin. Winnisquam takes out the Cavaliers 48-33. So good win for the Bears there, the last Saturday of the weekend. And that's all I see for scores there with Hollis Brookline. Let's see what else we got over here. So I know Keene was there, and they took on Bishop Girton. And listen, Keene is kind of stacked with some seniors this year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them, including Carter Trubiano, just picked up his 100th win, as did Peyton Gowell, I believe. Tyler English, Evan Ray, their star heavyweight that's been around for a while, so the retiring of the Keene victory horn. Cameron Phil, Zachary Parent, some big names are exiting Keene this year, and they just had their last regular season dual meets, and so before they go onward and upward, they took on the Cardinals of Bishop Girton. And, there's a couple of forfeits in here, again, mostly in Keene's favor. Looks like 4-1 edge. But yeah, Trubiano went out and took Austin Steinrich out. You got a pin there. Peyton Gowell, Ian Spencer, both getting wins. Gowl with a 15-5 over James Aljo. Tough match there for the sophomore from Bishop Girton. Spencer takes a tech fall 17-2. Runes, 144 pounds, takes out Finn Murphy, 17-2 tech fall. Jack Foster, Bishop Girton, takes out Jacob Hand, 8-1 decision. That was a good match to watch. 157 pounds, Jack Gillard, one of the stud wrestlers that's going to remain after this season. He's a junior. He took on Peter Serrato. Bishop Girton picks up the pin, as does Tyler English. You had Benjamin Hawkins Smith and a couple others. They got some forfeits. And then Evan Ray, he took on Bishop Kearns and picks up a pin. I believe that was in the second period. So strong showing for Keene, a bit of an edge. Hold on. Co-workers, what can you do with them? But yeah, so Evan Ray, Bishop Kearns, good match there. Again, Ray the senior, Kearns the sophomore, and still big learning curve for Kearns, but doing very well while he's out there doing it. And so that was a good match. I got a chance to watch. I stopped by, was not working, so I had an opportunity to kind of take it in. And I've watched a lot of these kids from Keene for a bunch of years now, and they've all turned into some fine young men at this juncture. And in a couple weeks, this season will be over, and then in a couple of months, high school will be over, and they'll all be doing something good. And the next check boxes will have to be done. So good to watch them. Good day for them, and they take it out on Bishop Girton with a final score of 67-9. And then we had Winnisquam. They took on Merrimack, 76-4 is the final there. Nothing crazy. Owen Sabal at 126, one of the highlights for the Tomahawks, takes out Ryan Cormier via 13-2 major decision. And that was the end of the points there. Some forfeits, but you had Lucas Dunphy picks up a major decision over Charlene Haddad, 12-1. You got some forfeits. James Dunn, 144, takes out Kale McClune via fall. David Jean, 175, gets a match in with Carter Anderson, takes full advantage of it with a first period pin. Weissman also gets a match at 190, takes out Avery Lantine. First period pin. Kyle Voigt and Louis Soit, 215, 285, both of them picking up fall. So good win for Winnisquam again. Merrimack young and up and coming. Sabal gets a good win there. Wyndham over Merrimack. What's that? 24-41. So 41 for Wyndham, 24 Merrimack. Whole bunch of forfeits in there. That happens. I know. I got to be honest, I would have thought most of the forfeits would have come from Wyndham, but it looks like Merrimack had quite a few this Saturday, as they probably rested some kids. Bishop Girton took on Messinic, 42-18 there. Again, Messinac's been a little light in the last couple of weeks of the season, but good to see him on the mat, wrestling tough. Raymond over Messinic, 36-30. And now for the final and last, but not least, as they say. Let's go to the JV states, right? So these are the kids that are oftentimes the practice dummies of the varsity kids. They take a lot of beatings. They get tossed around the room by many different people, and that's how you get to varsity. And so these are the young wrestlers that pay their dues. And at the end of the season, just like for the varsity, they get to have a state tournament. So it's good stuff. Gonna move quick because I think we had one, two, three, a whole bunch of weight classes. What was it? Let me look at my notes. That I did take a note on. JV states had 21 brackets. So let's get going. 100 pounds. It's Tegan Owens of Timberlane take first place over Ella Paris of Salem. Looks like Paris came from the top of the bracket, took out Oliver Greer in the semis with a 14-6 major decision. And Owens took out Anthony Cipoletta from Londonderry. And that's how they got to the finals. And then battling there, it was Owens with a 3-2 edge before getting the pin in the second period. So Tegan Owens, Tegan Owens is your 100-pound champion in the JV State Championship. Congratulations. Oliver Greer bounced back for third place over Don Peoples of Timberlane. So two placers from Timberlane. And the JV tournament is run a bit different than the varsity tournaments. If you haven't had to do that, somebody's doing some crazy work out there. Uh, but the scoring is a bit different, and you can enter in multiple wrestlers from a team in a single weight class. So that's why you might hear some of that as we go on. So good job there in the 100-pound, 106 pounds. That one saw Scott Patty of Timberlane against Cole Nault from Goffstown, and Patty puts it on Nault 20-7 for the 20-7 actually with a pin with 2 seconds left. Patty had a hell of a day. 5-0 in the quarters before a pin, 5-0 in the semis before the pin, and then 20-7 for the pin in the finals over Cole Nault. Nault had a much tougher day. Quarterfinals got a quick pin, but then the semis had a real tough match against Brody Fudge of Timberlane. So just, owls all over the place so far. Jameson Candy from Salem, Conde, I'm sorry if I don't get that right, took on Brody Fudge in the third place match and ends up with a 7-0 decision and a third place there in the 106-pound division. We bounced to 113. And hey, Zachary Patty from Timberlane, made his way to the finals, had a quarterfinal tech fall, semifinals pin over Tyler Baldridge of Salem. So the rivalry's big on varsity and JV. Excuse me. So Patty and then Colton Schuster out of Milford, who made his way to the finals with an 8-4 lead, then an eventual pin over Mikkel Waters of Salem. And so Schuster and Patty going at it. Patty from Timberlane again, 11-2 major decision for first place in the championship in 113-pound division. Tyler Baldridge goes on to take Michael Waters out of Salem in the consolation match. And in that area, we get a first period pin at 1:08. Baldridge for third place and some team points. So Timberlane top. Milford on the second podium, and the Tyler Baldridge Salem third place. Seen a lot of familiar things. So one thing to note, again, interesting, right? Team score. Tyler Baldridge, Salem. Michael Waters, Salem, third and fourth. So points there either way, no matter which way it went. 120 saw John Fitzgerald as your 120-pound champion. He took on Lucas Sanchez of Salem and had an 8-3 decision in the finals. Fitzgerald had a 1-0 decision against Dayton Brigante of Winnisquam in the semis. So squeaked by in the semis and then had a solid win over Sanchez in the finals for the championship at 120. Sanchez got through the semis with a 9-0 over Fournier. And then if you head into the consolation bracket where, real heroes are made, you had let me do it. Ready? Lafreniere. Guy Lafreniere, Hollis Brookline. He took on Dayton Brigante, Winnisquam. Brigante on top, 8-6 at almost the end of the second period. Brigante with a big pin, ends it right there, takes third place at 120 pounds, JV state championships. 123-pound weight class. Again, they split them up. I'm sure it makes the day shorter, not having a 64-man bracket, that kind of thing. So, what do we got? So you had Tyler Belkis of Salem takes on Sebastian Ochoa out of Nashua North. Ochoa makes it through the top of the bracket with an 11-3, a pin, a tech fall. And then Belkis made his way with a pin and a 7-1 decision over Jaden Peralta of Timberlane in the semis. So Belkis and Ochoa battle it out in the finals, and it is Belkis of Salem coming out on top. He's actually down 8-7 early in the third and ends up turning him over and getting a pin. So Ochoa is your runner-up. Belkis is your championship or your champion at 123 pounds. Peralta, again, lost in the semis, comes down underneath into the Consi round and takes on one Craig Burge from Nashua North. Peralta with a 15-0 tech fall just into the almost a minute mark of the third period for a third place finish there. really, again, a lot of Salem, a lot of Timberlane, right? Feeder programs. There's a reason why they're tough on the varsity level. Gotta build. 126-pound weight class. That's Zachary Frenny out of Wyndham took on Colton Casano out of Salem, and it was Casano up 18-8 in the second period, and then Frenny. Let me look. Let me just look. Yeah, it looks like a takedown, and then probably feet to back, and picks up the fall in the second period. Down 18-8 was Frenny. So good job, Zachary. Nice Wyndham JV title there at 126 pounds. Caleb Calloway out of Exeter beats Devin Rivera out of Concord for third place. 132 pounds. Oh, Cam Pettingill, Timberlane comes through the top of the bracket, has a pin and a tech fall to reach the finals. Faces Charles Evans out of Exeter. Evans on the bottom side of the bracket has an 11-7 win in the quarterfinals, and then a very dominant pin, but with a 10-0 lead over Daniel Murray, Nashua North. So Pettingill and Evans, they clash in the finals, and it is Pettingill with the Timberlane Owl Claw. 13-0 smacks up Evans out of Exeter and gets the job done there at 132 pounds. Carter Bebe out of Milford. Is that real? Did I just say that? Bebe? Bebe's kids? Anybody? A lot of older references lately. Sorry. Carter Bebe, third place. Milford takes on and beats Gabriel Ouellette out of Pinkerton Academy to get a third and fourth place finishes there in the 132-pound bracket. 135 pounds. That saw one Dominic Murphy on the top, Zach Waters on the bottom of the bracket. Both of them smashed their way, pins the whole way. Not a point scored against either one of them. They smash it up in the finals, and it's Waters coming out on top with a 13-4 major decision over Dominic Murphy of Salem. And you know the Waters name has been around New Hampshire for quite a while, and it looks like it's the last of the Waters, at least for a little bit. He's going to be here for a few more years, and then we'll have maybe a little lull. Then I think there's some other ones that'll be coming up behind. So congratulations, Zach. That's a big win over a very tough Dominic Murphy out of Salem for a championship at 135 pounds. Harrison Higgins out of Exeter takes on Caleb Hart, smashes Hart up in from Salem for third place. That brings us to probably not even the halfway mark yet. Ooh, stuffy. 138 pounds. All right, you got Marty Benson out of Exeter. Takes on Tavon Moore out of from Nashua North, and it's Benson with a tight match in the second period and ends up with a pin over Tavon Moore. Comes out on top with a 138-pound championship on this day. Not a bad season right there. Third place was Landon Hammer out of Keene. Took on Nate Tassie. How'd that one end up? Well, Tassie, what did Tassie do? Let me get out there. 13-7 decision for Hammer over Tassie. So that's a good win there in the Conci finals in the 138-pound division. 141, that saw one Lewis Caquez out of Salem, and Devin Woods out of Milford. They both reached the finals. Looks like Caquez had a pin and a pin. Let me see, I might have missed a round. No, he had a bye in the first round. And then Woods, where did Woods come out of? On the bottom side of the bracket, had 6-3 decision in the quarters, 17-4 decision over Austin Silk out of Sauhegan in the semis. And so Lewis and Devin, they smash it up in the finals, and it is Lewis Caquez out of Salem with a 26-7 tech fall, about 12 seconds short of the 1 minute mark in the final. So that boy's moving around, putting some points out there. Let me just look at that box score real quick. So Woods comes out and gets the first takedown. Then there's a reversal, near fall, and escape. That's all in the first period. And then Lewis goes on a rage. He gets a takedown, a near fall. There's a technical violation, goes against him. Then a reversal. I mean, putting some good points on the board. That's 26-7. Big win for Caquez, a.k.a. Lewis, over Devin Woods. In the Conci round, you had Alex Lenfest took on Kellen Duvall out of Pinkerton Academy. Lenfest is Salem. Looks like a takedown and pin 56 seconds into the first period for Lenfest. So some more Salem team points there. Duvall, Pinkerton, get some points on the board for them. 144 pounds. All right, let's see. So listen, you got the I'll call him the deputy mayor, Galvin OJ. Timberlane was on the top side of the bracket, came in big, 10-0 lead in the quarters, ends up with a pin. Semifinals, 8-4 lead, ends up with the pin. On the bottom side of the bracket, you see Jack DeGloria from Goffstown had a great day, 9-1 lead for a pin in the quarters, 9-0 lead in the semis, gets a pin. And so they meet in the finals. You have Old J and Gloria, and it's Old J coming out on top 11-7 before he picks up the pin. I wonder if it's like his brother, if he gets a cradle every time. Don't know. We'll find out because I'm sure probably going to see him over the next couple of years. And then if we drop down into the consolation round, you see Colton Hammer out of Keene takes on Alex Rochette out of Nashua South. And it is Hammer with a 9-3 decision over Rochette for third place in a 144-pound bracket. Yeah, Nashua South, was that the first one? I don't know. 147 pounds. We got a whole bunch, but the JV deserved their shine. So here's one. I mentioned earlier, there's kids that are good enough to be on varsity, just happens to be where they're at. There's somebody just a little bit better on varsity. And so Caleb Miner out of Keene, he's your one seed at the top of the bracket in the 147-pound bracket. I've been watching him for a few years now, just keeps getting better every year. Looking like a moose this year. He makes his way to the finals with an 11-1 lead in the quarters before a pin, gets an 8-2 decision in the semis, and then he takes on James Haney out of Exeter. Haney has an 11-0 major in the quarters. Then he goes to the semifinals and takes on a tough Cole Mobley out of Souhegan. Ends up with a pin in the second period. And then so it's Miner and Haney in the finals, and it is a good one. So Miner comes out on top with a 6-4 decision over Haney, taking the championships at 147 pounds. If I take a quick peek at the box score, Haney gets first blood, gets a takedown, quick escape from Miner not too long after that. So 3-1 going into the second. Haney gives up a technical violation in the second. So that's going to make that 3-2. Miner chose down, gets an escape. So we're tied up going into the third period. Haney grabs bottom, gets an escape, and then gets a stall warning. And then with 6 seconds left, so that means it was 4-3 Haney, right? He got the stall warning. Makes sense. With 6 seconds left, Caleb Miner comes out with a big and clutch takedown, and he ends up as the 147-pound championship at the JV State Championship, or excuse me, champion at the championship. Haney, tough match right there. I'm sure he was not too happy with how things went. The Dems is the breaks. And when you look in the consolation round, you had Cole Mobley from Souhegan bounces back after his semifinal loss and picks up a pin over CJ Goss, out of Salem. And so Souhegan takes third, Salem fourth, some good team points there. We cruise along, little wall break. Shoveling today. So that's 147. So let's talk 150. All right. So Owen Shaw out of Exeter was on the the top side of the bracket, gets out of the quarters with a quick pin, goes into the semis, and picks up sometimes I feel like my eyes deceive me, but Owen Shaw in the semifinals is down 8-2 in the second period. Let me look at that box score. So he's down 8-2, right? So that means takedown near fall. So boom. Near the end of the first period, it's 7-0. Richard is up. So Shaw takes down, gets a reversal. There's an escape. And then I don't see any other scores in here, but somehow from a neutral position, must have been some kind of feet to back, and it wasn't recorded. But Owen Shaw down 8-2 picks up the pin over Jeremy Richard from Concord and advances to the final to take on Matt Pucci out of Salem. Pucci had a 6-0 decision in the quarters and a quick pin in the semis over Elia Lelevere out of Concord. So Shaw and Pucci, they match up in the championship match. And it is Owen Shaw putting on a clinic over Mr. Matt Pucci. 15-0 tech fall to take the championship at 150 pounds. Impressive finals match right there. Gotta say, jumped one. Ah, so stuffy. All right, 153 pounds. Saw Marcus Stout take on Caden Cashman. Stout from Souhegan, Cashman from Pinkerton Academy. It is Stout on top very quickly with a 34-second pin in the first period. Cashman's your runner-up in second place at the 153-pound bracket. You had Alex Bryant and Nicholas Roberts. They faced off in the consolation finals. It's Bryant coming out on top with a 4-1 decision. Bryant Salem, Roberts Concord. So some D1 teams getting some JV points. See what that team score looks like. Pardon me. Excuse me. All right. Oh, we're getting to the bottom of the list. 157. We saw Zach Poole, Bedford. It's at the top side of the bracket, at the very top side of the bracket. I don't see any ranking numbers here, but I'm just assuming. So Zach Poole, top of the bracket, has a pretty easy quarterfinals match. It's a sub 1 minute pin over Roberts from Pinkerton Academy. Moves him on to the finals where Poole takes a 14-13 decision over Damian Cowan of Keene. That's how Poole gets to the finals. And you had Nick Green on the bottom of the side, or the bottom side of the bracket, grinding away. 6-4 lead in the quarters before he gets a pin in the second period. Then Green moves on into the semis, takes on Logan Genesta from Concord, beats 9-4. So Poole and Green, they end up in the championship match of the 157 weight class. And it is one Nick Green out of Bedford taking on teammate Zach Poole out of Bedford. All right, so that stuff happens, right? Teammate against teammate championship. And that happened to me, 10th grade. Back in the day, Nashua, one high school, 10, 11, 12th grade only, no ninth grade. So my 10th grade year, I was not varsity, and I ended up in the JV state championships against my teammate. What's his name? Kevin Carnegie, that's what it was. One Kevin Carnegie. If anybody knows Kevin Carnegie from Nashua, class of 90, I think he was. I was 91. So teammate against teammate, and you do what you got to do. You want to win just as much. And so congratulations to both Bedford kids, and Nick Green is your champion. Again, Zach Poole is your runner-up. On the bottom side of the bracket, meaning the consolation side, we had Noah Bassett from Winnisquam takes out Damian Cowan of Keene for the third and fourth place results there. 165 pounds. That saw Jacob Labrie, excuse me, not Jacob Labrie, excuse me. Patrick Casey, Souhegan, and Odin Delory from Londonderry. They met in the finals. It's Delory of Londonderry with a 6-1 lead before getting a pin in the first period, 52 seconds. So Patrick Casey outclassed in the championship match, allowing Delory to become the champion. In the consolation round, you had Elijah Asseltine from Goffstown took on Liam Cronin out of Londonderry and ends up with a big win for third place in the 165-pound weight class. Not bad. All right. 175-pound weight class. That's Silas Heiser of Bedford. Heiser was kind of middle of the bracket to start with, quarterfinals, got a very quick 22-second pin, and then moved into the semis, where, again, down 3-1, ends up getting a pin in 1:16 into the match over Connor Dawidowitz from Timberlane. And so Rio Dorn makes his way to the finals and looks to take on Silas Heiser out of Bedford. Heiser goes a 7-0 lead in the quarters before picking up a pinfall, and then a major decision in the semis, 13-2. So Rio Dorn and Heiser smashing, locking horns in the finals of the 175-pound weight class. and it is Silas Heiser coming out on top with a 13-2 lead to start with, and then says, that's not good enough. Let me start with the pin. So Bedford pins Concord there in the championship match at 175 pounds, and excellent work there. Underneath in the consolation round, you saw Plymouth's Tristan Partridge took on Connor Dawadowitz. Dawadowitz. It's got to be Dawadowitz, right? Dawadowitz of Timberlane. And it is Partridge with a 20-4 tech fall with about 25 seconds left in the match. So congratulations to Partridge out of Plymouth on his third place finish at 175 pounds. 190 pounds. Let's get it going. So you had Thurlow, one Ryder Thurlow from Winnicott smashes through 10-7 decision in the quarters, and then a quick pinfall in the semis. And then you had on the bottom side of the bracket, Jacoby Merrill conquered. Merrill in the quarters comes out, picks up a quick pin, and almost as quick a pin. That was 32 in 32 seconds in the quarters. Does it in 39 in the semis against Logan Rice, Nashua South. So Thurlow and Merrill, they smash it up into the finals, and Jacoby Morrell he just keeps it going. It's a first period pin over Thurlow to take the championship at 190 pounds. So Jacoby Morrell, great job. Congratulations, sir. Underneath, Alex Fleury, Plymouth, took on Jackson Donahue out of Salem. And it was Fleury taking the match with a 14-11 decision. So some good action in there. Doesn't look like any real penalty points or anything, but I do see a bunch of takedowns and some escapes. So excellent work there, gentlemen. Again, Alex Fleury gets third place over Jackson Donahue out of Salem. If we hop into the 208-pound division, we got Anthony Novas from Winnicott took on Kellen Whitney from Pinkerton Academy and picks up a pinfall in the second period after being down 7-4, does Novas. Anthony's day kind of looked where he had a 20-3 tech fall in the quarters and then a 6-0 lead before pinning Roland Grillo from Spalding in the semifinals. His opponent in the finals, Kellen Whitney out of Pinkerton Academy on the top side of the bracket, gets a pin in the quarterfinals and a very quick pin over RJ Gallant of Exeter, 27 seconds in the semifinals. So you had Anthony Novaes of Winnicott and Kellen Whitney from Pinkerton Academy in the championship match. And again, Novaes comes from behind, down 7-4 for the pin in the second period for the championship. Gotta love it. We look into the Conti section of the match, and we see that William Boncourt out of Alvern, major decision over Charles McBrearty from Plymouth, 13-4 there for a big win for the Alvern Bronco. 2:15, second to last, but not least. All right, in the championship match, you saw Liam Sweeney out of Salem take on Joseph Therian out of Pinkerton Academy. Tight match. It looks like there was a takedown by Therian, a reversal by Sweeney, and then a quick pin in the first period, minute 40 in. Liam Sweeney is your champion at 215 pounds over Joseph Therian, who's your runner-up. Isaac Carey Spalding over Marcus Blaine from Alvern in the consolation third place match. And last but not least, we have 285 weight class. And Jacob Braille, I hope I'm saying that right, Mr. Jacob. He's out of Concord. He's in the top side of the bracket. And again, he's one of these kids. I've been watching him for a bunch of years now. He is a senior. And in Concord, it's not uncommon for seniors to not be able to crack that varsity lineup. There's only 14 spaces, one per weight class. And they got a very talented lineup oftentimes. And so Jacob, he comes into the JV States as a senior and ready to make a final statement. And he does just that. In the quarterfinals, he comes out and gets a 6-second pin. In the semifinals, he comes out and gets a pin in the second period after putting 11 points on the board. And then he makes it into the finals and takes on teammate Camden Carbone. And Carbone, again, very similar to Jacob, talented kid, just got a little bit more talent in front of him. And so Breu and Carbone, they go at it, or maybe Breu, probably Breu. Jacob Breu, that's what I'm going with now. Takes on Wise Guy, Camden Carbone. They battle it out, and it's Jacob coming out on top with an 8-1 decision. So congratulations, gentlemen. And let me look, but I feel like Carbone, maybe, is he a senior too? What year are you? Camden? No, another year. Excellent. Well, we get another year with them, and here's the thing. Both those young men, they spend a lot of time after the regular season and the postseason, the high school season, when that ends. They spend a lot of time helping out at the BGS brawls, not only at the tables, the setup, the breakdown, as do a lot of Concord wrestlers. But I see these guys. Camden's always got a smile on his face, and he's usually breaking somebody's cojones. And then Jacob, just a good, nice, solid kid, very respectful, and it's been fun to watch both of them this year. And we'll see what next season brings for them. All righty. So in the consolation part of that particular weight class, 285 pounds, you had Damon Corbett from Concord against Emerson Beauregard of Concord. And I know I didn't do any fifth or sixth places, but I'll just say Damon Corbett, he took third place, beats Emerson Beauregard, who is a freshman this year. So some good, solid experience this year for Emerson. He did a great job. And then if you look at the six placers in the 285-pound weight class, 5 of the 6 are from Concord. And so I'm going to take a little drive through the capital city, and I'm going to test the water and see why it is they're having such a solid success up there at the 285-pound weight class. And so great job by everybody at the JV tournament. It means as much to you as it does to a varsity kid, and I think that sometimes gets lost on people. It is the journey. It doesn't matter what level you're at, doesn't matter any of that, and you guys all break your everything just as much as anybody else. And so don't let anybody ever tell you that what you accomplished didn't mean anything. All right. And so for that, now let's look at the team. And so it doesn't look too dissimilar than what an MOC might look like. You had Salem as your JV team championships. They had 160 points, 3 champions, 5 runner-ups, 4 thirds, 4 fourths, 1 fifth, 2 sixths, 8, 16. Yeah, that's a lot of placers, right? Timberlane, your host on the day, they came in as your runner-up at 117 points, 6 first places. That's very impressive. They had a third, 3 fourths, and a fifth. And then in third place, them boys from Exeter with 85 points. 2 champs, 2 runner-ups, 2 thirds, 2 fifths, 2 sixths. Concord in fourth with 73, 2, 2, and 2 for second and third. Fourth place was 3, and sixth place was 4. And Keene is in fifth place, 71 points, 2 champs, 3 thirds, a fourth, and 2 fifths. Wrapping out the bottom 5 of the top 10, Pinkerton Academy, Souhegan, Bedford, Goffstown, Milford. Goffstown and Milford, they tied at 33 each with 2 runner-ups and 2 thirds. And that, folks, is your 2025 regular season wrap-up. There's nothing more. There's nothing less. That is what it is. And so with that, I'm excited. I'm very excited. You know why? Because postseason starts T-minus what, 6 days? Today's Sunday, next Saturday, do the math. And we got some good stuff on deck, man. So it's going to be a good D1, 2, and 3 state tournament. And I'm looking forward to hearing the results from D1 and from D3, as I will be present at D2 this year. Also very excited for that. That's going to be an excellent day. One final reminder, remember what this is all about. Cheer your kids on. Don't talk to other people's kids. Coach your kids. Just remember, man, this is the culmination of a lot of work. Today, or as of this episode, right? A lot of those JV kids that are senior, their season is over. Their career is over. And that's going to happen for a bunch more kids next Saturday, because not everybody makes it to the Meet of Champions. So enjoy the journey. Keep your head down on the grind. And we'll see you on the mats in 1 week.